Microsoft's created platforms. They're very aggressively going after Twitch and not playing any games about it. Mixer was basically a non-factor 6 months ago.
If I'm a maker platform, you have this one-to-many dynamic where one user that can attract a lot of other users is really powerful. So that's basically a huge celebrity that's a draw that's going to bring hundreds of thousands, potentially millions of people to come join my platform. I want those big names. I want to make them as big as possible because that's going to be the only way I'm going to be successful.
Mixer is Microsoft's Twitch competitor, and Twitch is their live streaming platform that Amazon bought for $1 billion a few years ago. It was a great play. Twitch basically created these megastars, right? One of the examples of when a maker platform hits critical mass is that you are able to create celebrities and out of nothing, right? If you think about a PewDiePie on YouTube, a Dan Bilzerian on Instagram, all of these people had no following prior to the content platform reaching that critical mass and them being an early adopter and making good content and all that kind of stuff. So Ninja left to go to Mixer maybe a month or two ago. Twitch was not happy about it.
Right.
Instead of advertising for Mixer, they actually put porn advertising on Ninja's page. That really threw salt on the wound.
That may have been an error, but yes, it did not look good.
It didn't look good. Who knows what anybody.
So basically, what it was is Ninja's page was still there, even though he wasn't using it anymore.
Wasn't
and
using
they were
it,
just
and
putting up other streams and things to advertise because people would still go there.
They're leeching off of his following.
Right.
Shroud is another
big streamer on Twitch.
Big streamer, big following.
Former professional CS gamer, basically.
That's Counter-Strike.
Yes. And now plays a bunch of other stuff and huge following on Twitch. No longer, apparently, right?
Yeah, because he's making moves. At least he's not taking his talents to Mixer or something like that. But now, so what is this an example of, Nick? This is a strategy. We've seen platforms do this. We've written about it in the book. What do we call this?
We call this basically a marquee strategy. If I'm Mixer, I'm still pretty early stage. I'm going against a big incumbent Twitch. How do I get more consumer demand? I need to have, particularly if I'm a maker platform, you have this one-to-many dynamic where one user that can attract a lot of other users is really powerful. So that's basically a huge celebrity that's a draw that's going to bring hundreds of thousands, potentially millions of people to come join my platform. So I go out, I get really high-value users. For Twitter early on, this was VCs, and then eventually celebrities and politicians, because if they're on the platform, then other people want to hear what they have to say. That's obviously played out in a big way for Twitter with Trump. So it's this strategy of going after users and saying not all users are created equal, particularly on the producer side, but sometimes this also happens on the consumer side. What are those real power users that are going to draw that other side of that network and create much stronger network effects? How can I go out and get them? And in this case, is what they did with Ninja. I assume they're contracting him and paying him and saying, hey, just come help us seed our network. And you're kind of acting as a linear content producer saying we're going to basically hire you to come stream on our network. Rather than people joining organically and building that, because you really have to overcome that chicken and egg problem early on. Mm-hmm. This is a way to do it. Microsoft has used this marquee strategy before. They did it with Xbox. Basically went out and said, all right, we're going to commit $500 million to paying game developers and promoting their games if you come make stuff for Xbox, back when Xbox was new and competing with Nintendo and PlayStation. And they're doing it again with Mixer, it looks like.
I mean, Microsoft's created platforms, right? If we just look, they're actually the most valuable tech company or company, period, in the world. Who would have seen that
Public
a couple
company.
years? Public company. Yeah. Who would have seen that a couple of years ago? Bigger than Amazon, bigger than Google and Apple, have reinvented themselves in the sense of really new dominant platforms like Azure being the number 2 to AWS and a number of other really great platform plays. Mm-hmm. They really understand ecosystems very well. Clearly, they're very aggressively going after Twitch and not playing any games about it. Mixer was basically a non-factor 6 months ago. Right. It was there. It was on the Xbox, but
they're investing in it.
You would never think to use it.
The other interesting thing about why Microsoft might be doing so well from a stock point of view is they probably have the least regulatory risk, having already kind of been through the ringer on that front of any of the big platform companies, whereas Amazon, Google, Facebook, all kind of in the crosshairs on that front.
Now, it's interesting. I mean, take this with a grain of salt. Ninja's manager and wife says that he decided to leave Twitch because of the company's inability to work with them on building out the Ninja brand. She goes, money was the last thing on our mind. Okay. It's like they don't even know what went on behind the scenes and how hard we tried to make that deal work, and then how amazing Microsoft was for us. Yeah, I'm taking this one with a Salt Bay amount of salt, right? I mean, this is not, money is definitely a big factor why these guys are going over. And there's big money at play here. It has not been released how much money. I think it is 8 figures money. I don't think it's 9 figures money. It's 8 figures money. Certainly for Ninja, maybe also for
Shroud.
For Shroud. I think, yes, there's other stuff that I'm sure Microsoft was saying like, hey, we are Microsoft. I mean, but Amazon's Amazon, but still in gaming. Yeah. I think Microsoft just has a much more dominant with the Xbox and a number of other things that they've with just Microsoft.
So what they're done with Ninja is say, hey, you're going to be the first one to stream some of our exclusive games, and we're going to basically use you to help release it. We're
going to help propel you and put you at the forefront, and we're going to do all these other things that's going to just help you build your brand and all this kind of stuff. They're probably hooking them up with other like advertisers and sponsors to get that promotion side. Oh, and some money too.
So the interesting thing about this, if you talk about the Marquee strategy, is why, so there might be some truth to Ninja's complaints about Twitch. If I'm Twitch, I don't want to have my producers have too much power.
Yes.
So I want to promote Ninja. Yes. I want him to be successful. Yes. But I don't want him to be too successful. So I feel like I'm dependent on Ninja, and it's Ninja is Twitch, and then he starts to get more leverage on you. If I'm Twitch, I want Ninja to be successful, sure, but I also want all these other guys to be successful. Whereas if I'm Mixer, I'm in a very different place. I'm the challenger. I haven't really overcome this chicken and egg problem. I want those big names, and I want to make them as big as possible because that's going to be the only way I'm going to be successful.
Right. Yep. Exactly. And we've seen YouTube do this, where a lot of creators on YouTube will say, hey, once I had a few million subscribers, my organic growth pretty much completely stalled.
Right. YouTube has made a big effort to promote newer content creators because the challenge for them is, one, if I get big enough, often people take their audiences off YouTube and go elsewhere and have their own kind of proprietary subscription channels because they don't want to pay YouTube's take rate when I have a big enough brand. And two, to retain and attract new creators, I've got to find a way to make it not just a game where the people with the most followers are the only ones that can continue to build following. So their algorithm has moved more toward favoring newer or trying to surface fresher content. Which is why some of that happens. And I'm sure Twitch has similar thoughts and similar challenges they think about as a content platform.
Hi, this is Alex from Winner Take All. Thanks for joining us. Hope you enjoyed the content. Feel free to leave a comment, ask us questions, and definitely make sure to join us on our next live stream.